Well, welcome back to Carver Clan Travels. And what we're going to do now is look at the Oceania 2026 World Cruise and look at how the segments of that cruise impact the overarching cruise itself. So let's get into it. Just a reminder, this is what the cruise map looks like. We're going to get on in Miami, at least in my case. You could get on in Los Angeles or San Diego, but in my case, my wife and I are getting on in Miami. We'll go around South America, go up to San Diego, then cut across to Hawaii, then down to the South Pacific, and then back around to Australia, up to Singapore, then across to India, then up into the Middle East through the Suez Canal. And hey, look, we're in Europe, and then start working our way through Europe up to Iceland and then back down the American East Coast to get to Miami. And it's easy to look at this and go, hey, it's 180 days, that's one segment. But actually, this trip is split into a bunch of different segments. So let's look at those different segments and how they have an impact on those of us that are going to be on the Around the World cruise. So here's the agenda. We're going to do a segment overview looking at the three variants of a world cruise that are taking place, and then look at the other smaller segments that comprise the overarching trip. Do some analysis there and discussion, and then have some final thoughts. So here are the three kind of large world cruise segments. The first of which is the 194-day, the Granddaddy, that goes from Los Angeles to Miami. And those who are taking advantage of this get the advantage of an additional segment, and they're going through the Panama Canal, which is just cool. I was stationed down in Panama as part of my military career for part of it, and that'll be an amazing experience for those who take it. They're going to get 15 Oceania credits for as part of their loyalty program for doing that 194-day cruise. Interesting trivia, if you were to do each of the individual segments, it would be 12. So you're getting a bonus of 3 by doing the entire world cruise. For those of us like my wife and I who are doing the 180-day Miami to Miami, we're going to get 15 credits as well. 180 is greater than 150 days in the loyalty program. And that is compared to if someone were to do each of the individual segments, they would only get 11 Oceania credits. So a benefit of 4 by staying on the ship all that long. I will gladly take it. And then finally, the 120-day San Diego to Miami. 120 days is more than 100, so you get 10 credits for that. And you would get 8 if you did the individual segments, which is a benefit of 2. So the sweet spot, the greatest benefit occurs to those doing the 180-day Miami to Miami compared to the individual credits, but everybody is gaining some advantage than doing the individual credits. If you look at the smaller segments associated with the World Cruise, we actually have 11 of them, or 12 of them if you count the Los Angeles to Miami. But this lists out the segments associated with the 180-day cruise. And as you can see, the shortest one is going to be the Rio de Janeiro to Buenos Aires. That's 10 days. And the longest one is out there, London to Miami, 22 days. And so why is this important? Well, that means every date listed here, January 6th, January 24th, February 3rd, February 21st, people are getting on the ship or off the ship or on and off the ship at the exact same time. And what venues are open on the ship change based on that. And the activities, people putting luggage in the hallway and that whole drill of reporting to certain areas as you come on the ship, to understand your muster area and so forth, and when the captain's going to host, their get together. All of those things, or when, you can cash in your big O points, are all tied to these different segments across the ship. So again, knowing when the segments are allows you to have a greater insight to what the activity on the cruise ship is going to be and when you might want to do things or when you might not want to do things, and when you see people running around trying to do art scavenger hunts because they just got on the ship. Uh, so anyway, you've got these kind of segments, and you can think of your cruise as being, again, I'll pick on 180, 180 day one segment, or you can say it's 180 days split into 11 major stops. And I'm making a little bit of an assumption, but my recollection is that the cities that the people are getting on the ship, I often see a lot of resupplying, Oceania taking advantage of a lot of resupplying. And this idea that every 10 to 22 days you have an opportunity to resupply is a kind of powerful idea. So, do I need to bring 6 months of toothpaste, or do I take advantage of these and look at these as resupply days, where I may, when we're in Rio de Janeiro, stop by and pick up some additional supplies. When I'm in Buenos Aires, do I go to one of their magnificent malls and take advantage of that to do resupply? When I'm in San Diego, hey, there's a naval base right there where our cruise ship docks. Do I stop by there and resupply alcohol? So this idea of thinking about the world cruise and using these cities, the same ones I believe, don't know, but I believe that Oceania is using to resupply, might be good cities for us world cruisers to resupply. So I'll plant that seed. I'm going to have a different video that kind of looks at that idea. But what I wanted to do in this video is just introduce this idea of segments, and that the pace on the cruise ship is going to change based on those segments. It's not just 194 days or 180 or 120. We've actually got all of these other segments taking place, and then also introduce the idea that these cities may offer, well, they appear to offer Oceania opportunity to resupply, and they may offer us as world travelers an opportunity to resupply. And I'm going to explore that idea of what's the most convenient places to resupply while we're in these cities in a different video. Well, very good. That brings us to the end. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation about World Cruise segments associated with the 2026 Oceania World Cruise. Thanks for watching Carver Clan Travels. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe. If not, I'm glad you worked with me to get all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.